I am Joe Vexter, Ace Reporter, and I am here to plug yesterday's news with Joe Vexter and Kirk. Why am I here to plug yesterday's news? Because a dream named Yesterday is going to be featured in this podcast. And this dream yesterday was Paul McCartney's dream. And that is from the Ace Reporter, Joe Vexter. I hand it on to Joseph Evaldi. I'm back, and that was the segue. The dream is what Paul McCartney dreamt of was yesterday. And I'm gonna do the segue to the dream. In 1965, Paul McCartney, famous singer, songwriter, then with the Beatles, was staying at his parents' home in London. McCartney stated, "I woke up with a lovely tune in my head. I thought, that's great. I wonder what that is." There was an upright piano next to me, to the right of the bed, by the window. I got out of bed, sat at the piano, found G, found F, sharp minor, 7, and that leads you through, then to B, to E minor, and finally back to E. It all leads forward, logically. I like the melody a lot, but because I had dreamed it, I couldn't believe I'd written it. I thought, no, I've never written anything like this before. But I had the tune, which was the most magic thing. The tune McCartney was speaking about was the arrangement to the gigantic hit, Yesterday, from the Beatles album, Help, in 1965. In 1997, the song was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. In 1999, the song was voted by BBC Radio 2 listeners as the best song of the 20th century. In 2000, Yesterday was voted the #1 pop song of all time by MTV and Rolling Stone magazine. Furthermore, the Guinness Book of Records holds that Yesterday is the most covered song ever, with over 3,000 versions recorded, and broadcast music incorporated asserts. The song was performed over 7 million times in the 20th century alone, all from a dream. And this was from Dream Interpretation Dictionary Online. Famous Dreams, Paul McCartney.
Pretty heavy duty level of success And the gentleman claims that it came from a dream. Now, I know personally people who I've worked with musically, and this is not merely a plug, this is for real. I know someone who, during the musical composition of Machinations of the Cybernetic Phantom God, she reported having dreams of musical nature, where supposedly a whole melody came to her in a dream, which she was then able to partially pull out into real life. The musical mind is a very enigmatic and mysterious force of creativity. Now, in Gustavus Penman Miller's book, 10,000 Dreams Interpreted or What's in a Dream, the musical entry states, "The dream of hearing harmonious music omens pleasure and prosperity. Discordant music foretells troubles, with unruly children and unhappiness in the household." Now, a dream of the musical instruments, which he said, didn't he said he dreamed of the piano?
Yes, he did.
So it says in this musical instruments entry, to see musical instruments, the notes, anticipated pleasures. If they are broken, the pleasure will be marred by uncongenial companionship. For a young woman, this dream foretells for her the power to make her life what she will. So that's the music and musical instrument entry, which in my opinion is very important to this dream. So what do you have, Wolfman?
In the book called The Illustrated Encyclopedia of Symbols, Signs, and Dream Interpretation by Mark O'Connell, Raja Airy, and Richard Praise, on page 397 or 396. Yeah, 397. He says, with music, harmony and discord in music can signpost the same moods in your life, showing whether or not you are at one with your surroundings, your lifestyle, or the people with whom you have regular contact. Music may be soulful, fun, energetic, or restful, romantic, or mathematically precise, abstract, or lyrical. And these qualities may reflect your moods and feelings likewise. Different instruments may evoke particular responses in you or have symbolic value. Playing a loud instrument, such as a trumpet, may enable you to be heard, while drums are used to keep in time or set the pace, and have military associations. Orchestras, bands, and choirs are useful symbols for group behavior and coordination. Depending on the type of group, it may be important to blend in with the crowd or to let your contribution stand out. Being a soloist or conductor in a dream may be about needing to go it alone in some venture or take responsibility in some way that places you in a spotlight. As a soloist, you may feel exposed, but you will also feel the security of having a backing group supporting and adding value to the solo performance. He goes on, but I'm gonna stop it right there.
It can go. We can go on and on as far as descriptions are concerned. Now I was looking for an entry for songs. Like, I don't have one in Gustavus Miller. So I think we've probably reached the uttermost end unless you have anything else to add. So this has been Journal to the Dreamscape on the Joseph Evaldi Network. I'm Ricky Bearhart, an emissary of the Okeanos Network. The Okeanos Network's got a few channels. It's a parallel brand to the Joseph Evaldi brand. We have Opens Eternity, which features the audiobook of the first novel, Malthoria Volume 1, by Richard Andrew Olkis and David Michael Lockwood Jr. That's in the Eternity series published by Oakwood Publishing. And that will be an audiobook starting in production hopefully this November 2018. We have Quantum Posy, featuring the poetry of Richard Olkis. That's his poetry books as well as his spoken word album from 2004. You can find those poetry books on Amazon Kindle and soon to be on the direct publishing in paperback. And last but not least, Temporality's Shadow, the paranormal podcast where a co-host reads various things into the spirit radio, and the host, which is the radio itself, talks back. You slow down playback in the podcast to search for vocal anomalies in the AM suite. Check out Temporality's Shadow, one of several channels on the Okeanos Network. The Okeanos Network, audiobooks, poetry, spoken word, paranormal investigations, and talk, a creative baptism for every day. Check that out on Spreaker.com.
I am Joe Vester, Ace Reporter, and I am the voice of the Joseph Evaldi podcast network, which is a network. I could get a hefty fine for that, but it is what it is. I am here to plug something. I'm here to plug A Soul Warrior's Journey. It's got a lot of good writing in the book. He's got a sequel coming, hopefully, in 2019, 2020. Let's see how it goes. It's a book where he goes on a journey. He goes into Egypt, and I won't give anything away, but there's a murder mystery in it. And it's a very good story. Also, I don't like Joseph Evaldi that much for telling me to plug this show, even though I have mixed feelings about it. It's the Totem Wolf and Kurt podcast. Totem Wolf and Bearhart podcast. I am happy that I'm working with Kurt on the podcast, but me and Totem Wolf, we don't see eye to eye. But all I know is it's a good podcast. I enjoy the humor. Check it out. And also, check out Yesterday's News with Joe Vester and Kurt. With that, I pass it on to Joseph Evaldi. I'm Joseph Evaldi. It's time to wrap up this podcast. And with that being said, enter the dream reality. Dream interpretation, dream analysis, and the dreamscape. This is Journal of the